Hi, I'm Mark. This is my October review for Aries Sun sign and Aries rising. Right, for most of the month Aries, the concentration and focus is on other people because the Sun is in your opposite sign of Libra in the 7th house of relationships. But at the very beginning, at the very end of the month, the focus is very much on you and your deepest feelings. Why is this? Well, we have 2 full moons in October. The first on the 1st in Aries and the second on the 31st in Taurus. Now this is a calendar blue moon. It's not an astrological blue moon because they don't fall in the same sign, but it still has some significance. The first one in Aries will affect those of you born between the 26th of March and the 1st of April more deeply. You will really feel this more strongly. Why is it going to be strong? Because it's very close to your ascendant, which means that your whole identity will be in question now. Who are you? What do I feel? Why am I feeling? These feelings will start to surface. Now, the moon, conjunct Chiron, makes this an opportunity to heal, because Chiron has 2 attributes. First is he will expose your weakness, your hurt, your wound. The second, he will heal that wound and help you dissolve the pain. Now this could center around when you were young, and because the moon represents the mother, there could be feelings come up from when you were very young regarding the relationship you had with your mother. Now you can work with these. You can let them come up and deal with you and use them as a motivating force to take you forward. Good news for you Aries, on the 4th, Pluto, who's in your house of destiny and career and public standing, goes direct. He's been retrograde for 6 months, and when a planet is retrograde it goes inward more, so you may have been thinking about transformations, because Pluto's about change, deep change. So if you've decided to go back to school or start a new job or take a completely new path in life, now's the time to put these into place. Any issues you haven't dealt with will surface again. They may have lain dormant for 6 months, but now they will come up again and you'll have to deal with them as he goes direct. Venus has now moved into the 6th house and the sign of Virgo. So now you'll be examining things to do with your daily routine. It may be at work, it may be around the home, but whatever you do on a routine basis, you'll want to make better now. Venus wants a lovely, smooth life. She wants to enjoy things. She wants pleasant surroundings. The other thing she will be looking at is your health and diet. Are you getting enough exercise? Tendency here with Venus in this position is to overindulge slightly. So just look at what you're doing and cut back where necessary. It's also a good time if you're at work to meet a colleague who may be romantically involved with, or if you're at home you may bump into someone on that day that you connect with. On the 8th, it would be a great day for you to examine finances, find out where things aren't going right. But your mind's going to be very quick that day, so you'll probably get bored. So better off to do something that's really stimulating, something that will excite you, something different. Then on the 9th, there's a bit of a clash because we said Pluto was now going direct. Well, Mars is going backwards and they meet head on. It's a bit of a impasse, so to speak. Here you have to be careful that you don't upset people, don't say the wrong thing, especially in your career area. The other thing that's going to happen is that any loose ends that you haven't tied up over the last 6 months are going to come back and bite you. So just be aware. On the 10th, we have a couple of days where it's quite exciting. a good time to get ahead. It's focused on your work area and where you spend your days. It could be that you meet someone through work or while you're shopping or at the gym. It's quite an exciting time. If you're in a relationship, it's a good time to plan a trip with your partner or plan to do something that's different and exciting as well. The only thing is though, don't overdo it. There is a tendency to overdo things with this kind of aspect, so just take it easy, be compassionate with people, and you'll have a great couple of days. Between the 15th and the 18th, relationships will be focused. Now, this is an area where there may be work to be done. It will all depend. If you're challenged during these few days and whatever events come up, you'll need to focus on that area and look at that area. If nothing happens, you're doing great. You've done well and there are no issues to look at. Now, areas where there may be issues with people where you have old relationship patterns that are creeping back in. These need to be dealt with. If you're made angry by someone, then there's an issue there. You need to analyse it. It may not be that it's important at all, but it's how you've perceived that. The other thing we need to look at is a relationship with authority figures, maybe father figure or teacher, boss. This is another area where you need to look carefully if there are issues that come up with events that are happening around you. Freedom is another thing. Have you boxed yourself in? Have you closed the door on yourself? You need to look at all these things, open that door. It's a good time to put changes into place. It's a new moon on the 16th. So all these things that are highlighted, if there are any highlighted, there may not be. The things that are highlighted you need to work on and make changes and put them into place immediately so that you won't have these repeating patterns coming back again. 21st is a positive, feel-good day. If you haven't got to go to work, enjoy it. It's good for relationships. Try something artistic, go to a gallery or do something together that's creative. If you're not in a relationship, you need to get out there. It's not going to happen sitting at home. You need to get out there amongst people and make it happen. Then the Black Moon Lilith moves out of Aries. Thank God, you may say. No, it's moving into your second house and it will cast a shadow over finances, and this will last over a year. It could be good because it will highlight areas where you're not being effectively managing your finances. What it will also do is challenge your value system. It will strip you bare so that you learn to value the things that are good for you and good in life, and not worship a false god, so to speak. You will need to work with her over the next year. But it's a good time to get to grips with who you really are. What do you value most of all in your life? What do you want to spend your money on? What is worth spending your money on? Also, how much am I worth when I'm working? Am I underpaid? Am I being taken advantage of? It will bring up all these questions that you will need to answer, and then you'll have to make changes accordingly, because remember you also have Uranus in your second house as well. So this is a big time of change over the next year, and you need to work with these energies to improve your lot. Between the 22nd and the 24th, it's a great time for open and honest communication. Open your mind up, think outside the box. You'll thrive on this. It's a good time for discussing any issues you have in relationships or money or with your work, and you'll feel upbeat, you'll feel quite lucky. Just don't push too much, because you don't want to be impulsive. You want to stay sensible during this time and discuss, come up with new ideas. Creative thought is a great time for this. Then on the 23rd, the Sun moves from your 7th house of Libra into your 8th house of Scorpio, so there's more intensity now. Libra in the 7th house is more about relationships. We're moving away from that now. Not completely, because Venus is going to move into 7th house shortly. The Sun in the 8th house and Scorpio becomes more intense. It wants to dig things up, find things out. It's connected with life, death and regeneration. The 8th house is also to do with shared resources, so these things will be highlighted over the next month. So gaining insight is good now. It's good to look beyond the normal, see what people have as their agendas and look beyond that. Look beyond the spoken word and gain more psychological insight over the coming weeks. On the 28th, Mercury turns retrograde. This is why it's so important to discuss all these issues that you had in the previous week or two. Because when Mercury turns retrograde, communication becomes a bit more difficult because the energy turns inward. It works more behind the scenes, so you'll be less likely to want to discuss things and talk about things. Now, when Mercury's retrograde, he gets lots of bad press, and I'm sure most of it undeserved. He's blamed for equipment going wrong, he's blamed for accidents and all sorts of different things, but I'm not sure about that. Let me know if you have any experiences of this. But what I do know is that the communication side of Mercury turns inward, so you're more withdrawn, you're less likely to speak up and communicate. At the start of the video, we mentioned the second full moon in October, which is on the last day, and it focuses in your 2nd house in Taurus. So here you may have feelings of not feeling safe in the world. You may highlight emotional or financial insecurities. The thing here is to ask yourself, how much does money control you? How much does money liberate you? How much money do I need to feel secure? And how can I make that happen? Don't forget you've got Uranus in the mix as well. The full moon happens 1 degree away from Uranus, so that creates more uncertainty. But you will get over this, you will rebuild this, but just get through these couple of days when those insecurities may be highlighted. And don't forget you've got the black moon in your 2nd house now as well, so this is a tough time. You need to look deep to what you actually value and what you feel is worthwhile and what you feel isn't. And you may need to make changes in your attitude so that you can feel more secure and that you can feel more valued. Thank you for watching, Aries. I hope you've gained some insight into the month ahead and you can work with the energies. If you'd like to see more, please subscribe, or if you'd like to leave a comment, I'll be glad to hear from you.